Okay, ready? Window wells don't look too bad, Jamie. They're just full of leaves. I just recommend clean the leaves out of them. I think the soil level is down there, is below the window frames, but need to clean the leaves out.
Okay.
Some underground drains, there's 2 of them. Just monitor and make sure they stay clear. Don't back up water next to the foundation. This is just a little bit of minor spalling, some typical cracks in the edge of the front porch. Not a concern in my opinion. It's just some typical wear over the years. Just around some of the window frames and some of the exterior wood on the front porch, just some of these cracks and gaps, I just recommend caulk and seal them all.
Okay.
Just to prevent moisture from getting in there and dry rotting that out. Same thing there, just seal the cracks and gaps. And this is up under the porch, but I'd still seal these cracks where the stone veneer meets between the windows, just to prevent moisture if you're hosing something down or something. Pest intrusion. Same thing there. No handrail on the steps.
Oh. Okay.
FHAVA?
Conventional.
Okay. No handrail on the front or the back steps. Just some minor settling, heaving, some uneven areas in the sidewalk. Pretty typical for Belmont, or most areas in Pueblo. Same thing there. Same thing. This is actually the driveway. So just some uneven surfaces. Pretty minimal for the area. Typical cracks in the driveway, cracks in the driveway, cracks in the driveway, a little settling. This is some of the trim above the garage door.
Okay.
It's flashed here, but some of the 1x2 strips on top are peeling paint.
Okay.
So I'd prime and paint those, prevent deterioration. This is just a gap where the concrete from the driveway meets the garage. And I would seal that just to prevent moisture intrusion and help prevent settling and heaving. This is between the 2 garages. There's just a little bit of deterioration on the bottom of one of the pieces of siding in there.
Okay.
Some peeling paint on the door frame trim, the garage door. This is some of the trim around the chimney, just some peeling paint, little minor deterioration, but it's probably salvageable. Underground drains again, just monitor those. This is a damaged window well cover over on this side of the house.
Okay.
So the ones where you step on it and fall through it. Central air unit, and as you're aware, we don't test those unless it's above 65 degrees, so it was not tested. It looks functional and operational. I couldn't read the ID plate because it's pretty faded, so I don't know how old it is. I'm guessing probably the same age as the house. It's probably, I think that makes it about 41 years old,
Right.
if I remember right.
I believe it's original too.
But it does need to be cleaned. There's a lot of junk on the louvers or the fins. Then I just caulk and seal the gaps at some of the wall penetrations, prevent pest and moisture intrusion. It's on the back side of the house. It's where the conduit comes down from the meter to the main panel. Damaged window cover. And that one's got a tree growing through it right here.
Oh, okay.
So,
Want to
Looks-
get that taken care of.
yeah, it looks dead, but I'd make sure it's removed.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a little settling this on the back patio, because so kind of the same thing. They patched up some of this area in here, and then just, it's not uncommon, but just some uneven areas, a little settling and heaving, a little minor deterioration on the surface. Same thing, back patio, back patio. I just put, this is on the back side of the garage, over on the southeast corner, but the grading is above the bottom of the siding, and I always just recommend to keep that grading below the siding to prevent moisture and pest intrusion. I'm not going to put this in the report, but I would try to seal that shed up because that OSB board's not very water repellent.
Right.
No handrail on the back steps. These steps are going to that shed out there and they're just not secured in place, so
Joe jumped in there. I'm like, oh, I hope those don't.
fall over.
Yeah, because you never know with wood.
Yeah. This is on the north end of the house, but some of these boards are pulling loose on the gable end on the
Yeah.
north end, and then there's some on the south end on the house, and there's a couple on the garage, and I just recommend secure those where they're coming loose
Yeah.
on the ends right here.
Okay.
This is on the south side of the garage. There's 2 downspouts, and I just recommend route those away from the foundation. That's the other one on the detached garage. There is a sub panel in the garage. Everything looks good in there. Breakers, wire sizes, everything looks good.
Attic?
Yes, this is the detached garage attic, and it is decked, and there's some insulation up there, but for the most part, it's not insulated. That's the same one. That's the detached garage attic. That's just a typical little crack, and that's the attached garage floor. It's about the only one I've seen. This is the attached garage. It is insulated with about 8 inches of rock wool insulation, same as the house. That's the garage over, the attached garage. And on the roof, again, just some of your trim above the roof line. Some of these cracks and gaps that's sealed, prevent moisture intrusion and prevent dry rot on your trim. Same thing there, no minor deterioration of the trim. And then on some of the windows, also crack and caulk and seal just to prevent moisture intrusion and deterioration. This is some loose siding on the gable end on the south end of the house. You can see some there and up here.
Yeah.
Chimneys actually look pretty good. You might just caulk and seal these smaller cracks so they don't become bigger cracks. Otherwise it looks good. Most of the gutters are pretty good, but the one on the back side of the house where the big tree is needs to be cleaned.
Okay.
This is the vent for the furnace. It doesn't have a cap on it. It
Okay.
needs to have a cap to prevent moisture from getting in there, or birds or whatever. This is the little window above the roof line upstairs, but again, just a little peeling paint, a little minor deterioration. It's salvageable, just needs to be caulked, sealed, and painted. This is the attic over the house upstairs. There's about 8 inches of rock wool up there. And it's pretty uniform. Everything looks pretty good up there.
Good.
They do have one wire connection right inside the attic. I don't know if this used to be for an old fan or something, but there's just a wire connection, not in a junction box. This piece of railing at the top of the stairs is loose.
Okay.
Everything else is good, but that little piece is pretty loose. The hall light upstairs didn't operate, probably due to a bad bulb. It's one of the bedroom windows. It was just a little bit loose. I tightened a couple of the screws. They seem pretty tight, but I'd caulk and seal around that window.
Okay.
There's a couple of them that I'd recaulk from the inside and maybe the outside too.
Okay.
This is the, I think it's the first bedroom upstairs. The door just doesn't latch. There's a couple of outlets that are just loose. The receptacles need to be tightened to the junction box.
Okay.
This is in the master bathroom upstairs. Just the left outlet has reverse polarity. The other one does not. They're not on GFIs, but in 1978 they weren't required, so I didn't note that. But this is the upstairs hall bathroom. You're just missing a strike plate on the door. And the faucet is reverse, the hot and cold are backwards. Upstairs hall bathroom tub.
Oh, okay.
This was just a reminder. The front door is a lock yourself out knob. If you turn it, it'll open from the inside without unlocking. As soon as you shut it, it's locked. So
Oh.
just caution you don't lock yourself out. I locked myself out when I first got here. This is that hall bathroom door right up near the front entry, and it just doesn't latch.
Oh, okay.
Those were the only two other than basement door. This is a small little settlement crack. It's right on the other side of that vaulted ceiling going into the den. Typical, probably due to flexing of the trusses. It's hard to tell, but there was a little crack that ran down here. Again, probably flexing of the trusses, so pretty common. You can ignore these because all the switches that these are lights plugged in that little area they did by the fireplace in the basement den. And there's a little cubby over on the right side. When you open the door, there's 4 switches on there that turn on all these outlets and lights.
Okay,
And I
good.
didn't think they had power at first, but I found the switches, so they're all good. That's the same thing. Water main is in the basement mechanical room or the furnace room. When you walk in the door on the right side, right in the corner, is your water main right here. So it would be, I believe, in the southwest corner of that room.
Is that the only thermostat you found?
Yes, sir.
Did you have the furnace on today?
She did.
How
No.
come we get it fired yet?
Yeah, it was running when I got here.
Okay.
Check that. Well, he pulled the door off, so you should know. This ejector punt, I laid on the ground. I put my ear to it, and I ran the sink, the bathtub, and this. I believe this is the discharge pipe. This little 1-inch PVC right here, and it wouldn't be big enough to discharge anything from the toilet in the bathroom. So I'm not sure what's running in here. I have not heard any water. I ran that shower for 10 minutes, and it never kicked on. Well, if it did, I didn't hear it, and I couldn't catch it. But I'll play with it some more
Okay.
when we're done. But so far, I have not got it to kick on. The water heater's 50 gallons. Everything looks good on it. It is 9 years old. Average life's 10 to 12, so, but it seems to be working fine today. And there is no catch pan underneath it, but there is a floor drain right here. Floor drain drains. It drains a little bit slow, but it does drain. I mean, I
Okay.
had to pace myself dumping it in there when I dumped water in it. And there's just your age, 2009, 50 gallon.
Okay.
There's a better picture. Floor drain's operational. Like I said, it drains. I just had to pace myself draining. It wouldn't drain as fast as I dumped the water in, but it does drain. Then the furnace. The furnace is the same age as the house, so it's 41 years old. Piers operational. There's some rust in it, but everything looks good. But I would recommend have the heat exchanger checked, which we're doing right now.
Right.
And there is a humidifier on it. I don't know nothing about
He
humidifiers.
said it didn't work.
Yeah, I didn't figure it did. Most of them don't. There are filters in the blower fan compartment on both sides. The filters aren't the right size, so they don't clip in the top. So I'd recommend get the right size filters in there. Blower fan looks good though. Some typical cracks in the basement floor. The tile has not cracked, so everything looks good. Those are probably smolder ones, and they're in the furnace room. Your main electric panel also in the furnace room when you walk in the door on the right side. I pulled the covers off. Everything looks good in there. Little sub panel right below it. Everything looks good in there. It's grounded. Neutrals and grounds all look good. It's in the basement shower. There's a small leak at the shower head right here, so it probably just needs to be tightened. And the faucet handle's not installed properly, because when you turn it left, it's on, and it's off right there, and then you turn it to the right, and it turns on hot. So
Okay.
just need to take the handle and the cartridge off and install it properly, I believe. Otherwise, everything in the bathroom seems to be good. This is a picture of the ejector pit and pump that I couldn't get to kick on. And this drain right here, it's got concrete in it. It's not plumb full, but all the water I ran, I didn't really see any water other than what looked like condensation. So I don't know if this was, so I'm not sure what they did here. Being that it's all buried, I can't, and the lid on the tank is sealed, so I can't even pull a plug out to check the
Right.
ejector pit, so I have no idea what's going on with it. But like I said, I'll try to run it a little bit more and see if I can get it to kick on.
And then you'll ask the seller too if he knows anything about it.
Yeah, we'll have to call him. I don't have his number.
Okay.
Because I don't think she'll be back
Oh,
before
okay.
I leave. Well, if I see him I'll ask him when I see him when I come to pick up the radar monitor.
Okay.
So, just a missing strike plate in one of the rooms downstairs. Can't remember which one. The only door that won't close, this is the door in the laundry room, and it hits on the door jamb and it needs to be trimmed or something, it won't close. Small leak underneath the sink. I think it might be leaking from the stopper linkage connection,
Okay.
the basement bathroom sink. And that's it.
Great.
So, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. We'll get it sent out this evening.
All right.
Thank you, Jamie.
Say hi, Audie.
Hello.